part 3, we're going to take some water in with a blunt syringe to rinse our hollow form. We're just going to take some water in and we will flush the inside. Just a few times is good enough for this because we will be opening our hollow shape. If you were to keep this as a hollow shape and not cut it open, you will want to rinse this really, really well so there's no pickle left inside for the future. So as you can see, the water is oozing out. Then we want to cut that flange off. We want to file that flange off. So I'm going to use a bit of paper towel because there will be water oozing out of there still, so I don't want to get my file dirty. So in a very straight motion, I want to file all of that flange. Take your time. This will be much slower than this. It's going to take a long time. When you're arriving close, you may have these little bits of metal. So that means that you're just about done. So slow down. We don't want to file the side edge. We want to leave a tiny, tiny little step because we have a lot of solder to do on this. And if we are filing our side wall, we will have to solder again, and then we'll have to file again, and it's going to get thinner and thinner. So I barely want a little lift here, and I do not want to file any more than that. So that perfectly all the way around. Now it's time to cut our locket or pillbox perfectly into 2 shapes of equal size. So we need to find a way to measure. Now, if you're doing a round locket, it's easy. It's the same all the way around. If you're doing an oval, you'll have to fiddle a little bit more. So to find the center, I am first using my dividers and guessing where my center is. So I'm putting fine lines on each side and adjusting my calipers until the 2 lines meet. So this might take a little bit of time. You adjust until your 2 line meets from both sides of the object. Then once they meet, we will make a little mark with our saw there. Now I need to adjust them again and go on the wider part and do the same thing. Once I find my center, I will put another little mark with my saw. Again, if you're doing a round locket, this is a lot easier. It's going to be the same. Hopefully, it should be exactly the same all the way around. For an oval, I need to adjust and find the center at a few spots all the way around, and then I will eventually connect all those dots. Once you have all the dots connected, you have a line and it's time to cut through. Take your time, go slowly, much slower than in the video. You have to have your attention obviously at the top of the saw where it's cutting, but also at the bottom, especially as you are getting deeper and you're having a deep, long cut. You don't want the bottom of the saw to travel and cut sideways at the bottom. So the top is where you want to cut. The bottom, you don't want that to travel. So you are cutting, pushing forward, but you are also keeping your attention at the bottom too, so you don't cut at the bottom. So you let the front lead while in control of the front and the bottom or the back. No fingers in the way. Be very careful not to cut your fingers during this operation, please. Go slow and cut all the way around. It does take a bit of time. Eventually, your locket will be virtually all cut and you will be able to work it open. Once open, it's time to clean up our cut line. You can file with your flat file all the way around rotating constantly so you don't put too much pressure on one end or not the other. Using your flat file, connecting to all of the surface, so the two sides of the wall really, and rotating. If this is difficult, or at the end of the filing, you can switch to emery paper or sandpaper and use that to clean the edge. So a coarser one if you are not able to file straight, or if it's the end, if you've done your filing, you want to finish on maybe a medium, maybe a 320 to finish your edge. Of course, do both sides and then check that your two sides are matching and are perfectly flat. You can check that on the steel block as well. There should be no gap. It should be perfectly flat. We will measure each side to make sure that we cut in the center and that the walls are perfectly even, the same length. If it's a round locket, your measurement should be the same all the way around. If it's oval, they should be the same at the tight curve and they should be the same at the longer part of the oval. And of course for both sides of the locket. At this point, resist the urge to file the side wall. Do not file there. You will change the shape of the side wall.